Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, September 10th, and I'm your host, Kristen McDonald. It is great to have you with us as we end another week here in Norwood. The police department answered a devastating call on Sunday night. Chief Brooks tells us the latest.
Well, late Sunday night, the Norwood Police Department was notified of a non-responsive infant at a home here in Norwood. Several of our radio cars and a supervisor responded to the scene, as did the Norwood Fire Department ambulance and an engine. The firefighters transported the 6-month-old infant from the home to an area hospital. Unfortunately, in spite of all of their efforts, the baby passed away. So we are conducting an investigation with the Norfolk District Attorney. As you've probably heard me say before, under state law in Massachusetts, death investigations of this type are joint investigations conducted between the police department where the death occurred, the office of the district attorney, and the office of the chief medical examiner. So we have a detective assigned to the case. There is a state trooper from the Norfolk District Attorney's office assigned to the case as well. We're in the very early stages, and because it's ongoing, there isn't much that I can say. This is, of course, a troubling event, and all I want to say really is just that our thoughts and prayers are with the family of the infant, who are obviously going through a very difficult time. We hope at some point to be able to say more about the investigation, but at this point it's ongoing and in the very early stages, and so that needs to be all I say about the case. Other press releases, press information is coming from the office of Norfolk District Attorney Mike Morrissey.
Thanks, Chief Brooks. Our thoughts are with the infant's family. The chief would also like to remind everyone that the police entry exam is on September 25th. Registration closes on September 17th. Please call the non-emergency line with any questions. Exciting changes are coming to the fire department. On Friday morning, the department swore in Chief David Hayes. The town manager, members of the Board of Selectmen, and other town officials came to support the new chief. Chief Hayes shared this message with the crowd.
I appreciate the support of everybody, the support for our town, for our fire department, for my firefighters. It makes me feel good. Moving forward, I am looking to cause all of my firefighters to work a little bit harder, more inclusion. I want to have the people who are going to replace me, and we know we're going to be replaced in 5 or 10 years, whatever it is. I want those people to be able to move up seamlessly if I leave. And that's what I'm working on, developing the staff, giving them the confidence and the understanding of the job to assume greater responsibility. To the people of Norwood, my office door is open. If you have questions about the fire department, you call me. I will answer those questions. I don't sugarcoat things. I don't hide things. I believe in dealing with things directly. And you will have our service. It's about customer service.
First on his agenda, Chief Hayes was tasked with a pinning ceremony. Promotions were celebrated for Deputy Chief Daniel Harkins, Captain Christopher Quealy, and Lieutenant Charles King. On behalf of Norwood Community Media, congratulations to all, and thank you so much for keeping Norwood safe. This weekend, the fire department has arranged for a brief memorial ceremony to remember fallen soldiers and civilians from the tragic 9/11 attacks. The ceremony will start around 8:45 a.m. tomorrow morning in Highland Cemetery on Winter Street. Guests can arrive around 8:30 a.m. at the Norwood Firefighters Memorial Big Jake in the cemetery. For any additional questions, please contact the fire department non-emergency line. Stay tuned after this break for the latest on Norwood Day and Suicide Prevention Week.
I'm a dad and a pastor.
I'm a mom and a principal.
I am a daughter,
wife, and machu.
Great-grandfather.
I'm a rock climber.
My husband, a father, and a grandfather.
I'm a mother, a daughter, a wife, and a cousin.
I got vaccinated for my parents.
Because I want to be a good neighbor.
For safety and for the people I love.
For my family, for my community, and for our community at large.
કારણ કે મારી ઈચ્છા હતી કે મારા બાળક બીજા બાળક સાથે રમી શકે.
I got vaccinated so I didn't have to wear a mask.
For my family and for my community, your community.
We all come from different backgrounds
and speak different languages.
But we all agree on one thing.
Get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated.
Getting vaccinated.
Get vaccinated.
Vaccination cardio.
To protect yourself and others, get vaccinated. To find out more information and to find a clinic, go to mass.gov/COVID vaccine. Welcome back. After a long-awaited 2 years, Norwood Day is finally back. Recreation Superintendent Travis Farley has all the details.
Hi Norwood, Travis Farley here with the Norwood Recreation Department, filling you in on Norwood Day this year. Friday, September 17th, fireworks at the middle school. We will be selling buttons for $3 a piece that day. We're very excited. Should be kicking off for a normal Norwood Day for us. Friday, we will not be having the roaming railroad and the inflatables. The committee decided to eliminate those high-touch areas, so that will be a new wrinkle on Friday night. But we are still having the fireworks. We're going to kick off a DJ with some small activities at 6:30 at the middle school. And then on Norwood Day, Saturday, September 18th, we are very excited to be honoring Bernie Cooper with the Ann Leyden Award. Very deserving. Mrs. Cooper, Connie Cooper, will be receiving the award from John Carroll. We are also very excited to have Bernie Cooper, the first time we've ever had a person on the button. The committee voted to have Bernie be our first person on the button. We're very excited about that. And Norwood Day will be kicking off on Saturday, September 18th on Washington Street downtown, 10:30 to 2:30. Buttons will be $5 the day of. We will not be having a food tent because of COVID this year, but we are going to have a lot of fun activities. We hope to see you there, Norwood. Come join us on the 18th.
Thanks, Travis. Norwood Day is on Saturday, September 18th. Be sure to stop by the NCM truck and say hello. Now we're going to toss it over to Erin Crowley with sports.
It's a brand new school year and the Mustangs are back to work. Last week, the varsity football team kicked off the Labor Day weekend with a win against Somerset Berkeley Regional. The Mustangs secured the win in this non-conference game, taking down the Berkeley Raiders. On Tuesday, the golf team lost to Medfield on the road, but Wednesday there was tons of action. Kicking off the afternoon, the cross-country teams faced off against Westwood. Both boys and girls varsity grabbed the win. Varsity volleyball put up a good fight against the Wolverines, but fell just short of victory. The boys and girls soccer teams were also challenged by Westwood, and both teams unfortunately lost. Also on Wednesday, the golf team beat Hopkinton in a close match. On Thursday, the field hockey team lost to the Wolverines in a challenging match. We'll be back next week with another recap of Mustang sports. As a reminder, NCM will be broadcasting games live all season. Our live coverage schedule for the next 2 weeks: varsity field hockey on Monday the 13th and varsity volleyball on the 20th. Make sure you stop by the truck and say hello. We'd love to see you on the road. That's all for sports. Now back to you, Kristen.
Thanks, Erin. In government, the zoning board met remotely Tuesday night to discuss 4 cases. The first case requested to withdraw their application without prejudice. The request was approved by the board. The next 2 cases focused on residents looking to make additions to their homes. Both permit applications were approved and the board wished both groups luck. Residents in the last case were seeking a special condition extension. The board approved a 90-day extension for the group. The ZBA meets next in October. The Airport Commission met at the airport Wednesday afternoon. Russ McGuire presented the airport manager's report and reminded residents of an exciting public event coming up in October.
We've been working on a special event October 16th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is a special event. We're working in conjunction with the Recreation Department and Flight Level On. It's called Wings and Wheels. And through the Recreation Department, we've already started the sign-ups online. My understanding is we have 200 people signed up, both adults and children. And this is to get them inside the fence, specifically onto the lots ABC out here just to the east of the building, and out to Flight Level's new aircraft hangar. And also to set up a static display for both some of the ground vehicles in the town, airport department vehicles, as well as other department vehicles, and also some of the aircraft that we have here.
Thanks, Russ. To join the waitlist, please contact the Rec Department. Moving into the agenda, the board reviewed a job description before passing it along to the town manager. Airport tenant, Southern Airways, presented a recap of the past year and exciting future plans. The board meets next in October. The Economic Development Committee met in the Selectmen Chambers Wednesday night with representatives of Moderna. The committee approved a 55% TIF, or tax incremental financing. The recommendation will now go to the Board of Selectmen, and pending a vote of approval will be placed on the special town meeting warrant. The school committee met remotely Wednesday night. Facilities Director Paul Riccardi shared upcoming school projects for the Facilities Department. Health Director Sigal Reese presented a COVID-19 update for the committee.
I'll just go ahead and provide a brief update on this week's data. Thankfully, not a lot of changes from last week. I'll pull it up. So looking at we'll start with the vaccination rate for the 12 to 18. It did go up 1 percentage point. So and additional students reaching fully vaccinated, and then you see the partially vaccinated there, which hopefully in the next few weeks will increase that percentage. And then for the total population, it is going up slightly each week, but we're still at about 69%. If you remember last week when we talked, the case count, I believe, was about 75 or 76. It's always plus or minus a few depending on when I run the report versus when the state runs the report and then shares it on Thursdays. So it'll be around 77, like I said, plus or minus, which is pretty even with last week. I want to just show the group the 2-week case count by age. So this is again just that 2-week period, just to show it is a pretty widespread of age breakdown. But looking at those older populations, of course, that tend to be more vulnerable to the disease, they continue to be small percentage of our cases and fewer numbers, partly attributed to the high vaccination rate. But we've been seeing for a long time, even at the end of last school year through the summer, that it's the younger ages where we are seeing more cases. And by younger, I mean 30 through maybe 19, like we see here.
Following some discussion on COVID policy inside school buildings, Dr. Thompson defined a close contact situation in the schools.
As we're talking about notifications and talking about close contacts, could either you or Sigal define what a close contact is at this point in time relative to school setting?
Yeah.
The Department of Education is saying that a close contact is if you were closer than 3 feet or not wearing a mask in a classroom.
So given that so I'm going to just say that in a different way.
Okay.
Given that all of our students will be masked, there will be no close contacts.
Unless they're less than 3 feet, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Yes. If you're within 3 feet and you are masked, you are still a close contact. If you're beyond the 3 feet and masked, you are not a close contact in a classroom.
Okay.
So the reason why I laughed a little is that it's not an easy question, and I wish we could pull up that slide. A close contact we know defined as anybody within 6 feet for 15 minutes over a 24-hour period. There are some stipulations for in school because of really the controlled environment, all the mitigation strategies that you've put in place. So that's why there's this sort of carve out for the classroom close contact with a little different definition, and that's where we get into the 3 feet in the masked. If you're beyond 3 feet and masked, you are not a close contact. Whereas if you were in another environment that wasn't as controlled, you would be.
Later, Dr. Thompson updated the committee about the first week of school and enrollment. Assistant Superintendent Dr. Wyeth provided a final recap of summer programs around town. Karen Sheridan provided a detailed review of the end-of-year report for the fiscal year 2021. Afterwards, the board discussed policies regarding student activities and MASC updates. The school committee meets next on September 22nd. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government Channel or watch on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break for more town news.
One thing that attracted me to policing, made me want to become a police officer, is I wanted to prove people wrong. Some of the misconceptions about policing.
The ability to problem solve, and not only to problem solve by myself, but fortunate enough to join a team of people who would be doing the same thing, and we'd be problem solving at one of the highest levels.
Being able to come to work and going out and meeting new people and being able to affect them in a positive manner and being able to help them at sometimes when they're at their worst, I think that's really fulfilling.
My family, a lot of them are involved in law enforcement as a profession. They inspired me, kind of led me the right path.
I think a young person would like to work here because there's ample opportunity to succeed and move up in your career.
If you're like me, started a little late at the age of 30, you care about your family, your future. If you're younger, you get to learn as many things as you want here. It's a growing environment.
What I like most about the job is having the ability to see the almost instant impact that you have on people, the things that you do when people need you the most, being able to see the result of your time and in your actions in their lives.
It'd have to be the coworkers that I work with.
Great people. We're all pretty much the same age group. We have each other's back all the time.
Most police departments at this point are very transparent in who they are, and they want to know their community as much as they want their community to know them.
The community of Norwood has been great to work for. On a daily basis, I get thanked for my service, and I get told how appreciated I am for what I do.
So we have a great community. We have a community that supports us, and more importantly, you've got great police officers who are out there willing to do the job in a good manner.
Welcome back. Norwood's conservation agent, Holly Jones, is excited to announce the awarding of a conservation grant to dismantle a small dam at Peswick Park off of Sumner Street. The deconstruction of the dam will benefit local wildlife.
We are here at Peswick Park today because there's a really exciting project that the town just recently received funding for. Behind me is a breached dam. There was a historical dam here called Mill Pond Dam, built on Trap Hole Brook. Now there are two concerns that the town, as well as partners like the Neponset River Watershed Association and the Department of Ecological Restoration, have had about this dam. One of the concerns is that if the dam should fail entirely, there's a lot of sediment built up in that pond behind it. The pond's been there for more than 200 years, maybe just building up sediment. And should the dam go, the sediment also travels downstream and could create a choke point and some potential flooding hazards for communities downstream, particularly the Norwood Gardens community, which is about 1/10 of a mile away from where we are now. The other concern is that this stream is one of the best cold water fishery resources in the eastern part of the state. It is the best cold water fishery resource. So that means cold water fishery means it supports temperature sensitive fish, with the most famous and one that's present here being brook trout, as well as brown trout and other trout species. And so by taking the dam out and taking the pond out and restoring the natural course of the stream with lots of habitat like deep pools and shallow riffles and woody debris for aquatic wildlife to hide in, we are removing that barrier to make this stream, which is, again, the best, has the biggest population of trout in our third of the state, even better, and allow fish downstream to be able to make their way upstream and mix those populations. And as you know, temperatures continue to increase, as we have hotter summers, they're going to be able to travel to be able to hopefully try and allow them a little bit more ability to find their way to places that are cooler upstream.
Thanks, Holly. Stay tuned with NCM for updates on this project. And even though summer is winding down, you cannot stop the Senior Center from celebrating. They had a busy week of events, and Carrie McCarthy recaps it all.
Hi everyone. I'm just here today to give you a little update on our end of summer activities. We kicked off the week on Tuesday with our end of summer Tuesday night dinner. We had Anthony Samarco come and do a presentation on the Howard Johnson's family. And then Tony Mizuko, our town manager, treated everyone to pizza. So we created a little outdoor pizzeria outside in our parking lot park. We played some Tony Bennett and everyone had a great night. That was followed by a fun afternoon with DJ Dogs, where everyone enjoyed a lunch and played jukebox bingo. We have a lot happening here at the Senior Center this month. We are starting a line dance class. This is a Learn to Line Dance, and that will be on Mondays at 11 o'clock, so you can give us a call. We can tell you about that. And our lunch program is also starting back up on Monday, September 13th. So give us a call. Feel free to send me an email or a note, and I will send you the newsletter, and we'll give you all the updates. Have a great fall.
Thanks, Carrie. The first week of September is Suicide Prevention Week. Consider this your reminder to check in with yourself and your loved ones about your mental health. Sometimes these are tough conversations to have, but they are important and truly help save lives. Always remember there are resources in the community to help you and others. Remember, mental health is health, and there is never any shame in speaking up. Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.